Well, how you guys doing? This is another point of information. My identity is documented on television 24 hours a day. The scars, the birthmarks, beauty marks are on TV shows, movies, and they have been for so many decades, since I was little and blah, blah, blah. Very important. It's very important, detailed information in the company, or not the company, but the location that holds that information and makes sure that it's in films hasn't missed a day. They've always been thorough with the information. And so, in reference to government people trying to confuse my identity, I'm sure that office has called all these satellite controllers and probably said, "Hey, what the hell are you doing staring at him? Who you think he is? We told you who he is, blah, blah, blah," Or these government agents tried to steal that location or whatever. This is very important. This man that's done these things to me, grabbing me and fucking up my teeth for years, accusing me of being this other person that's a criminal. Did this man even contact any relatives of that man that he tried to confuse me with? You know what I'm talking about? Did this man that tried to confuse me with this criminal or this drug addict that he accused me of looking like, or he thought I was this other person, did this person do any research such as talking to that person's real relatives? Or this man was just going around slandering my character, accusing me of being this other person that he claimed was in his drug rehabilitation program? This man was just accusing me like he's got bad eyesight or something. Like this man claimed he was a drug rehabilitation officer or something. I've never done drugs. I've never been in one of those classes. I've never been arrested. I've never been involved in none of that shit. And this man had intentionally tried to mistake my identity and fucked up my beautiful teeth, and has been satelliting me and burning me and damaging my bone structure of my face and injuring me and zapping me and choking me and making me cough and burning my crotch and damaging my tailbone with his fucking satellite shit, trying to accuse me of being this other person that has a criminal fucking record. Did that person with a criminal record ever live in this house? Did that person with a criminal record ever live at my mother and father's mansions? My real biological parents? Did this government man go to the schools of this person that he was trying to confuse me with? And did he ask anybody that knew that person if they thought that I looked like that person? I bet he didn't, did he? I'm not betting you nothing, but he didn't, did he? Did he ask any of that person's relatives? I'm an only child of my parents. I have no direct relatives and basic information. I don't have any real brothers or sisters. Are you all aware of that, right? But this man that tried to accuse me of being this person that was in his drug rehabilitation program had tried to confuse me with this person. I've never done drugs, never been involved in drugs, never been around it, never hung out with things going on like that. Do you understand that? And this government man was trying to make up shit. He's been terrorizing my life for over 22 years in this particular situation. And, my mother got murdered 29 plus years ago, Then my mother was frozen. But do you understand this situation? Did this man even go around and ask other people if they thought I looked like that other person? When you see me in person, you're surprised how little my nose is. There's no way to approach me and think that I have a big nose. I've worked at major companies. I've worked at the grocery store. I've worked at, McDonald's, since I've been held hostage, I worked in, different jobs. And this satellite man has been burning me, torture tracking me every single fucking day. Trying to call me this other person. Did this other person work at the same jobs that I worked at? This man's been stealing my postal mail. This man's been stealing, if the Screen Actors Union tried to send me anything, this man has stolen it. If anybody sent any Jewish Hanukkah gifts or Christmas gifts or cards, Christmas cards or anything, I didn't receive none of them. Did anybody send those to this man's person that was in his drug rehabilitation program? Or did people try to send me Christmas cards or gifts or Hanukkah gifts because of who I am? But then this man, and obviously his person in the drug rehabilitation program, they're obviously working together, and they've been stealing from me, or they're doing something where they've been trying to accuse me of being this other person. This person doesn't look like me in person. I don't even know who the person is. I don't even know what the person looks like. But the overall protocol in the media is my identity of who I am, what race I am, what religion I am. It's a documentation of who I am. Not who their impersonators are. Not who their stand-ins are. Or whatever they're trying to do. I'm talking about the people that are trying to steal my mother and father's estates. The people that are holding me hostage. And this man has tried to say, oh, he was just trying to prevent you from being an athlete. Or trying to prevent you from being famous. That's why in reference to any athletics that I've been in, sports, football, baseball, basketball, Olympics, or anything, has to be on a website. And the name that I performed under has to be mentioned. Or if I played in the NFL, or if I played in the NBA, or if I played in any sports, it has to be documented on the website. And what name and number I wore in that particular sport. Or how many teams or whatever teams I might have played on. Same thing in music. The years have gone by in reference to songs that I've sang. Musical instruments that I've played. Has to be documented on the website. Maybe in the TV and Film Hall of Fame. TV shows that I was in when I was a little boy, when my parents was alive. Has to be documented. Everything has to be noted. Inventions, Nobel Peace Prizes, or any type of honors that I have won in anything. Has to be on a website. Same website, all that stuff's got to be listed, If I won any Oscars, has to be listed. Or any Grammys or anything has to be listed. So this man doesn't confuse me with his criminal from his drug rehabilitation program. These people have been zapping me in the face for over 22 fucking years. Since I got off the airplane at the old airport in Indianapolis. When they forced me back here, they kidnapped me and held me hostage in Indiana all these years. Did that man, like I said before, did that man ask that person's relatives if they thought that I was that person from their drug rehabilitation program that their relative was in? Because I've never been in one of those. Think this man's a pedophiliac, or the man's a child molester, the man's a rapist, the man is a pervert, the man is a stalker. And the man was possibly involved in the murder of my mother, Doris Duke. I'm the owner of the estates of my mother and father. Never signed, never gave, never sold, not ever going to, not allowed to, no matter what way it is ever written. It even says that clearly on treasury documents and on personal information, that no matter what is written, no matter who wrote it, no matter what alterations they tried to do, I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates, no matter what tricks anybody's trying to play. Can't give nothing away. Can't sign nothing away. Can't sell nothing away. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates forever. I'm the true blood. I'm the only child. So in reference to this government man trying to fool everybody in Hollywood, this government man trying to fool everybody, does anybody know who this man is? Does anybody understand what the psychology behind this freak that's been stalking me on jobs? And then this man thought it was illegal for people to complain about their abuses. Like this man tried to call me trash. And they did this to my teeth. They physically assaulted me. Haven't received any fucking money in compensation from anywhere at all. Not even from the Indiana government. And this shit, all this teeth damage happened in Indianapolis, Indiana. My dentist from Beverly Hills, when I was held hostage here back in the 80s, my mother had paid the dentist, and the dentist had to come over here to Indianapolis from Beverly Hills. When I was held hostage sometimes. You know, I was held hostage, got rescued and kidnapped several times. You know, in reference to any celebrities or entertainers that know me or that knew my parents, if you want to elaborate on some of this and talk about some of the things, that'd be cool. You know, mention some things on YouTube. You know, keep mentioning things and keep making videos, because everyone that they're blocking is more lawsuits against their agents and government people and their illegal censorship. But this man was trying to call me this other person so he would try to get away with touching me and groping or sexually assaulting me or knocking me out with a taser and physically and sexually and violently assaulting me after they had tasered me and knocked me out. It's attempted fucking murder. And it's serious violations against governors and mayors that are involved, or anybody conspiring against me. I'm not from the Ray family. My mother and father was not from the Ray family either. These people even made a fake birth certificate, made up fake stories trying to call me their child all these years, these bad government people, or they tried to call me their relative. Even when my mother personally showed up in court and said, "Who the hell is calling her son Mark Ray?" Then my mother had a court case, beat everybody in court, and then I went home to my mother's mansion with my mother. Look what the history is of how many times my mother had to try to rescue me, or how many times my mother had court cases against this hostage situation. Look it up. It's got to be on public record too. And on records of the Screen Actors Union, the Directors Union, the Writers Union, and the Hall of Fame, and the music and film and television museums too. Lots of things of importance.